I'm ready this morning. Feels like it's been too long, but guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Multime. We are back. Diamond League today. Phoenix Task Force taking on 36th Stormo Virtuale. Diamond League. I feel like we're not back here enough. There's it's just something different. There's something different about 6v6 as opposed to 4v4. Not saying there's something bad about 4v4, but man, I guess maybe because I fly in 6v6, it's just got a special place in my heart. But today, Phoenix Task Force again, 36th Virtuale, Diamond League. It's a short jaunt. I think it's Wadata taking on Sanaki. So small bubble, small mission distance between the areas. No AWACS. Who's going to come out on top? This should be a good one. Middle of the pack brawl. Let's see and find out. Well, big Multart. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in the sim. He had a big face right there out of nowhere. He was just there. Out of nowhere, just making sure you guys were ready. Just making sure you guys were ready. 65-inch big screen in the living room. And my face is just there. You know, your wife's probably like, ooh, who's that guy? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, but guys, we are here with Low Blow and Billy Wah, the bearded men and the mustache. 36, we're watching them depart. Saw these guys just take off behind us. It's going to be a good one. Like I said earlier, this is middle of the pack brawl. These guys are ranked 3rd and 4th. And I don't know how this one's going to go. I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. Do you guys have any inclinations on how this is going to shake out?
Well, we've got Phoenix Task Force sitting 3rd in the division at the moment, and 36 sitting 4th. There's not a lot separating these guys. Billy and I were going over the stats before, and Phoenix have had 3 wins, 36 with 2 wins there. But as Billy was pointing out, the KD, which is where the rubber hits the road, Phoenix sitting on 1.0 KD and 36 on 0.62. So, you know, if that's going to hold true, then expecting Phoenix to pull ahead here today.
Yeah, both these teams very close in the standings too. 3 and 4 in Diamond League right now. I think with Phoenix Task Force coming in at the 3 spot. So close match here. One match really separating these two teams. So that this a win, I believe, for 36 Stormo would tie them with Phoenix Task Force for 3rd, depending on how the tiebreaker stats go and whatnot. So big match for them and a big match for Phoenix Task Force to not lose that pivotal 3rd spot in the standings. So as we get closer to the end of the year here, we're going to to start seeing some of these matches be a lot more important for the standings and how teams start to jockey into position to try to get those good spots.
Well, let's talk about who's actually flying. So we got 36 Falcon leading the way for the 36th Stormo Virtuale, and then if we jump over, Phoenix Task Force Black Arrow in his F-15. He still has his rear gear down.
That's a problem.
How does that even happen? Huh. Looks like it tried to shut and then didn't, but moving on. Then we've got
shit.
Phoenix Task Force Ali in 3 tanks, like his livery. Sheik in the F-14. Witcher back to 36 the Mirage. We don't see very many Mirages very often, but we've got Witcher in a Mirage. Little thing with the Mirage is obviously it's at a little bit of a detriment because it only has 4 missiles, 2 530s and 2 Magics, so it's going to be a little bit of
No Fox 3s.
the underdog. And then we've got 2 J11s. Airwolf being the first one, and he's got all R77s, 2 ETs, and 4 73s. Ghost in a F-18, no center line, 6 Fox 3s, and 2 AIM-9s. Wolf in another J11, all R77s, 2 ETs, and 4 73s. And then Predator in an F-16. He's got a pod on. So I guess he's going to do some recon looking for the 36th F-14 launch. I think it's 36, which is definitely beneficial. Billy, you've talked about that in the past.
Right. Being able to call those shots out to the entire group is a big thing. Because it allows guys to adjust their timelines and start defending and notching appropriately to kind of diminish any impact those shots are going to have. Which that in turn allows you to end up being on the offensive a little bit quicker, which can really make the difference in a fight like the one we're about to have here today. I'm curious. We got no AWACS here. We got decent distance too, right? Do we know what's the distance?
No, we don't have a decent distance. This is Wadada versus Sanaki. So these guys are already shooting at each other. Like this is fast sauce. We're burning into the AO. I don't give no craps about fuel. We're just going to unleash all the things. I mean, the distance between these two airfields is
90
miles. Yeah, so really close.
In turn, what that also has an effect on is the altitude, right? These teams are not able to end up getting as high as they probably would like. In most cases, we're seeing, in and around the 20,000 to 25,000, maybe 30,000 range, but you're not really able to get a whole lot higher than that because as you start to approach that altitude, you're already within the whiz of the other team, right? So I think that plays a big factor here. I don't think we're going to see nearly as high of altitudes as we normally would. Now, granted, I don't know how important that is with how flat the terrain is for the majority of this battlefield here. We're on that Sakumi bullseye, basically, where it's a lot of flat ocean and flat plains with a little bit of hills to the north there. So.
Now, in terms of missile trade there, Phoenix Task Force have just unleashed an absolute barrage. We had the 50-mile Phoenix from Sheik back there.
Interrupting you, I'm really worried about Witcher's position. He's descending, but he's got a fast-moving 120 coming in on him, and this may get going fast, and it does. And Witcher in the Mirage, we don't see the Mirage very often, but we didn't see it for very long either. And it gets taken out, and Witcher is the first casualty. Things already happening very, very fast here, ladies and gentlemen. And that was one of the first missiles fired. Witcher was on an unfortunate receiving end of that and gets, for lack of a better words, you guys' favorite, annulled and nullified, taken out of the fight.
Yeah, that is still going to be a T-shirt, by the way. That was cool.
I'd like to go back later and take a look at the Tacview on that one because that's one of the rare times one of those big, long, early 120 shots actually finds its way in there and does the trick.
Well, this is a really good time to bring out that Blow, you asked why you descend all the time. That's why, because if you stay high too long, the missile does not decelerate. It doesn't have to, because it doesn't have to dive. It doesn't have to pull G. It's not expending energy. It's up in the thinner air, and it will just plow into you like the mini telephone pole, or I guess, what are the things called that prevent cars going into stores? Like the big...
Bollards?
Yeah, those. Bollards. Is that what they're called? That's what an AIM-120 is. It's not a telephone pole. It's a bollards, and it it smashes into you, and a big yellow concrete thing hitting you in the face is not something you want to happen every day.
No,
Now, I need to ask you guys, because, you know, the thing is that Phoenix Task Force are the only team here that have a Tomcat. And so, you know, you see Sheik sitting back there at 40 miles, happy to be, again, the long arm of the law. But, you know, we have seen time and time again that those dangerous Phoenixes are the ones within about 20 miles, 30 miles. So would you guys be hoping for him to close that range and get those fast, close Phoenixes downrange, or are you happy with him sitting back there?
In 6v6, it's a little bit more difficult because there's way more going on. You don't have the opportunity to curtail and sneak yourself into a close-in opportunity because there's jets everywhere. There are people everywhere. There are missiles everywhere, and it's more difficult to get into that position, in my opinion. There's more to take in. Not that it's more difficult, it's just you don't have the avenues to get in there deep. We're riding along with Black Arrow, which I'll give you guys a split screen view. He is our man with the gear down, and I actually need to fix the split screen view. But he is unloading all of the things, and maybe he's just given up on the gear being down, but his aircraft is having an aneurysm. And
maybe he's trying to notch.
That ground is coming up very quickly.
He has a broken stabilizer, too. Do you see the stabilizer damage?
Water.
Yeah, that's bad news. Oof.
I gotta say that we saw that one coming.
How did he get damaged?
Maybe on takeoff? Maybe he ran into somebody or something? As Londart says, that is one Hurdy elevator. It saw better days. His Creed Chief was slapping himself in the forehead on departure there for Phoenix Task Force's Bullock or Balak or Black. I'm going to call him Black. That's what we're rolling with.
5v5 right now.
Yeah, that was an equalizing playing field. Equalizer shot something as Balak or Black plowed into the ground. So he shot a lot of missiles. Maybe he recognized that, guys, I'm going down. I've seen things. I'm going down to the abyss. I don't know what to do, and just gave up and flew into the ground.
So we got
Big Time says
Toxin
maybe a tail strike.
Toxin and Ali here closing in 7 miles trail there for Ali, and 10 miles to Wolf on the nose for Toxin right now. So you can see Wolf turning out cold and dragging him back into Drigo. So let's see how this plays out.
I don't think anything's going to play out. 36 or Phoenix Task Force looks to be disciplined enough that he doesn't overcommit. Wolf recognizes that he's been sorted on. He breaks away. So give you guys a look at the map. He broke away. No factor, no issue there. And that missile's trashed. And Drigo, while he was in a possible decent firing position, if Toxin had indeed continued on the pursuit, Toxin broke away. Drigo didn't have a good shot. I would have liked to see Drigo hold on to that missile. He is in an F-16, so it's going to be, maybe he's going to need that later, but these guys got him within about 7 miles, which you're still outside that high probability PK shot. So I think both teams are doing decently enough at recognizing when they need to turn around, outside of the Mirage earlier, who didn't really react at all until it was too late and got snowplowed. But if we look now over here at Ghost, ingressing now against Falcon, Falcon's got a 120 coming on him, and we're riding along with him now. He's at 25,000 feet. 120 is coming in from low to high. We can see it. Falcon still has his lights on. Guys, lights, very easy to see, especially for people in VR. And a little bit of lag as that missile, didn't know where to go there. Comey says lights win fights. It's a show of dominance. We'll go with that. Falcon is trying to show his dominance coming in here. That's what we're saying. That's what I'm going with. And everybody seems to be resetting outside of Drigo and Ghost, who are, I like that they're recognizing they didn't get shot on. We're going to keep the press, and that's exactly what they're doing. Now, are they going to press in too deep against Toxin? They're separated by 11 miles. Toxin puts a 120. Toxin's at 15,000 feet. There goes the second one. And I got to flip over, and you guys look at Toxin. Toxin only has one 120 left. 120 left.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of missiles come out early on here. Curious how that's going to play a factor in late in this one.
I think it's going to be a big factor.
Out of interest, we take down to 3 Phoenixes right now in that 14.
I think 2. I want to say I've seen at least
That's
2.
okay, though. I think that's okay, because he's still got more than likely 2 AIM-7s and 2 AIM-9s or 4 AIM-9s still on there. So I'm not... Having only 2 Phoenix isn't a problem, but when you only carry 6 missiles and you only have 1 left, you're in direction for maybe some not great things to happen.
Oh, now look at this barrage coming out of 36 right now towards Ali. That's an ER, a 77, and a 120C.
The ER and the R77 are going to be nothing. They were launched from too far away. They were over 10 miles. You got to be, for that the ER especially, inside like 6 miles for them to be effective. On top of them not being very energy management friendly, they are very, very easy to trash.
That's a good point. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of energy on these planes before they shoot these missiles right now. A lot of guys low, coming around quick on the recommit and not really building up speed before they launch those missiles. And I think we're seeing that in the fact that we really haven't had a whole lot of connections with these shots here, aside from that 120 shot early on and that 15 hitting the deck, right?
Chat says from Ernov, connection problems are the best ECM and DCS. I think he's got a point. Maybe ED put that in there intentionally, you know? Instead of modeling ECM because it's classified, we're just gonna throw some lag at you and that's how we're gonna simulate ECM.
Drigo here with a 8 mile slammer from Toxin on Drigo here. Let's check it out.
That's gonna have some. That's got potential. There it comes. 2 miles away. 1.5 now. No, Drigo, don't recommit. You had the energy. No, what are you doing? Drigo, no.
He's got it.
Does he?
He's got it. Yeah.
You got it.
Nice.
It was a very nice serpentine, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do that serpentine, you can't slow down. Don't slow down.
I would have liked to have seen him start the evasion going the opposite direction, but then again, I wasn't zoomed out enough to know if he really had the option to do so. But nevertheless, yeah, that was close. I think you and I maybe would have played that a little differently, but he did what needed to be done to get away from that bad boy.
We've talked about this in the past at almost every stream. If you're going to commit, if you are going to commit to a certain level or type of defensive maneuvering, damn it, you better commit to it. Don't try and out-energy a missile with your damn brakes out.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Because, guys, Merlin, low blow, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't gain energy in your aircraft very well when your boards are out.
Hasn't worked out so well for me in the past.
Yeah, no, it's detrimental to the whole process. That's for sure.
But anyway, coming back to the state of the missiles, because we just spoke about when that barrage got unleashed from 36 there, Malta. We know that the Slammer has had some buffs in recent months. Where does that leave the state of the 27ER, the R77, and the ET? Are they lacking a bit of love from ED?
No, I don't think they're lacking love. I think they did get a buff. They're just big missiles. They have big fins. They're enormous. And if they fly in a straight line, they do really well at energy. They accelerate really, really fast. They're not great at maintaining energy through maneuvering. They don't burn for a very long time. They're heavy. They're just different. Drigo now is defending another 120 that's chasing him. He's going to be fine there, but there's another one coming in on his flank, and there it is. And I don't know that he gets away from this one. 0.3 miles, 1 mile, he's dead. Here it comes, and the Bullard strikes again, this time in the right flank of Drigo's aircraft. We are now down to a 4v5.
I don't think it had anything to do with it, but I still... the boards, I can see it in chat too. The boards being just slightly out there was very triggering.
Did he have his brakes out again?
Oh my god, hang on a second. Did Airwolf just ET on Wolf and get a blue on blue here?
I did not see that, did he?
Well,
Airwolf. Yep.
Well, either he did or he maneuver killed on the evasion. But...
Something happened there, but I missed that.
Yeah.
Chat's saying yes, so we'll have to look at that through the Tacview. But 120 now being launched from, I think that was from Ali onto Falcon. And he's going to be fine out energing that. Here comes, where is it? I don't even see it yet. There it is. 2.2 miles back. He's going to be fine running away from that. No issue.
5 Phoenix Task Force fighters left to the 3 fighters of 36th Stormo. J11, F18, and F16 for 36. F16, F16, F16. Yeah, so 4 F16s left for the Phoenix Task Force. And an F14, sorry.
We haven't seen the F14 from Sheik do anything.
He launched one early Phoenix and then another one kind of from closer range later on, but he's been towards the back of the pack. Might be doing like a little bit of a GCI roll there. I don't know. From the way it looks, they've kind of had him positioned in a way that might be happening. They have to have a Rio for this, right? So it would make sense.
Yeah, they do.
That he would be doing something like that. Now here he comes. It looks like he's just getting a shot off the rail now, though.
Riding along with it. It is a Mark 60 coming in low.
Turning away.
Sub 20-mile Phoenix right there.
That's coming on to Ghost, and that was like it got shot down. He rode along with that one, and that one hit another missile.
You got 8 miles between Falcon and Airwolf at the moment. Airwolf is the guy who just TK'd Wolf with that ET, so unfortunate there.
Falcon now ingressing against Airwolf. He's in a really good shooting position, but I don't think he sees Airwolf down below him, and I gotta reiterate again, there are no AWACS in this match, ladies and gentlemen, so you don't have the situational awareness that you would obviously have if you had the AWACS. You do get PPLI if you were in an 18 or a 16. There's a 120 launch from Ghost that we can flip over so you guys can see that's coming in on Falcon, so he may have turned around because of that launch warning. But we also have Ali coming in now against Airwolf, who I think is in a more pressing
Ghost
situation here, but he doesn't see anybody. And these guys with their lights, what is going on? Everyone has their lights on.
I hate to say it, but it's a product of auto starting.
You think so?
You don't realize most people auto start. They don't realize it does it during the auto start.
Yeah, but I turn my lights on every time, and then I turn them off. Falcon
check this out.
may
You got
have a
Ali
missile
3
coming in
miles.
on him.
Ali 3 miles in the 6 of Airwolf getting
Not on
dragged back into Ghost here.
But Predator, I think, is the one that's in for it. He's head on with somebody. I don't see where it is. He's flaring high to low. There it is. And he just got snuck up on. I don't know who that was from. That was from Falcon, and Falcon did a magnificent job recognizing that nobody was looking at him, pressing against Predator, and Predator paid the price for being totally isolated. But now, Falcon is
Brett, we've got
isolated.
a merge here between Ali and Ghost. These guys, it's almost, it's a 2v2 because you got Toxin coming in as well here, and Ali reverses, but he's on the deck. You got
nope,
you
not
got
worried
Ghost
about that
up
one.
there.
120 coming now again from Falcon. It's onto Falcon, excuse me. It was actually from Falcon onto Falcon. So 36 Falcon launched onto Phoenix Task Force Falcon and killed himself.
There's 2 Falcons? I didn't realize there's 2 Falcons.
I didn't either, and that was confusing. But now we're back to the merge, so we're riding along with Ghost, who is being chased by Toxin, and there's another merge happening between Airwolf and Ali. Now, split screen isn't really working right now, so, well, it could be. So I'm going to try and fix it. We're going to try and fix it.
This is an awesome ACM here. We got Toxin trying to gun Ghost and Ali trying to gun Airwolf. Both 36 guys completely defensive right now. Ghost split S's there. You got Toxin. Well, yeah, I think Ghost is in a bit of trouble here, to be honest.
It looks like it. There's a train coming in here, though. We got Airwolf, Ali,
there's an
and
R73.
Toxin. Whoa! Did it get it? Did that get it?
Oh, both guys get gunned down. That was crazy, man. You had the R73 come out of Airwolf towards Toxin, and then Ali guns Airwolf and Toxin guns Ghost pretty much simultaneously. Both 36 guys getting eliminated. But on top of that, you've got the 120C coming out of Falcon and taking Toxin out. So,
And then now, Falcon and Ali still in looks like a 1 circle here, or what's starting to be a 1 circle.
What are you doing, game? Why are you looking at those people? There.
Oh my god. Okay, so we got a 2-circle fight happening between Falcon and Ali now. Falcon in the 6 here of Ali. Overshoots. Ali reverses 1 circle into him. This is fantastic stuff.
Yeah, this is great scissors here. We don't normally get scissoring like this. to that degree. And then a reversal, I think, here too, right?
Yep, and back into 2 circle at the moment. So Falcon well and truly establishing himself in the 6 there. He's 5,500 feet, closing into the wedge here, and he's pulling lead at the moment from this high aspect shot. Does he connect? No, he just missed it.
Whoa! And he chinked right into that shot. Oh man, that's unfortunate. And that is going to be all she does it. And I'll be honest. Oh no! And we've totally forgotten about Shake in the F-14 coming in from outside right now. Falcon, I'm sorry, with no weapons left, probably very limited guns, very limited fuel, very limited countermeasures, coming in against Shake, who hasn't done a whole lot with a Phoenix now.
8 miles, Shake coming in, closing the distance here. Falcon down to guns, as you say. What's he got coming?
Oh,
there's a Mark 60.
This is not gonna
a Mark 60 from 5 miles.
And he turns into it and takes his fate there.
Holy cow, man! What a slugfest! That was just fantastic.
To see somebody fight as hard as Falcon just fought there, and not come out with some satisfaction of a landing and a finished mission after that, because Shake was just sitting back there, almost waiting for that thing to kind of finish itself out, so he could walk up and shoot whoever won that whole thing. I'm going to assume he's got the fuel capacity to make it home, based upon how little maneuvering he really did throughout the majority of that match. But wow,
Billy, that round had it all. It had a C-fit. Control flight and terrain when the 15 went in. We had a TK with the ET from Airwolf on Wolf. We had a full-on 2v2 ACM situation, and then rapidly that turned into a BVR kill on the remaining guys. So, and then Shake, who's been sitting back there the whole time, just closes in at last minute from 8 miles and just schwacks the last remaining 36 guy. Man, what a round!
Yeah, Volter, I can probably count on maybe one hand the amount of times we've seen scissoring to that nature in a SATAL match, even specifically a Diamond League match. That was a pretty rare sight to see. It definitely really
last
cool.
year it actually happened quite a few more times than you think it did, because the Bees before the missile changes, we ended up in merges all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. And there were actually several times where the guys ended up killing each other, and we ended up in a draw because
correct.
Both people died.
Yeah. That was a good one right there. That was that started out a little slow. It took some time to really kind of get into it, but once they really, I mean, there was a train of 4 fighters, 2 red, 2 blue, all mixed in with each other, trying to kind of to make that chase happen, all in a line there for a little bit. That was pretty wild.
Now I want to know what happened with Airwolf when he let that ET off. Was he just hoping that was going to go over the head of Wolf? And
I can almost guarantee with the Su-27 he locked somebody in Erst and then didn't blip his radar on to IFF check and shot a friendly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that missile made contact. It looked like he might have tried to maneuver out of it. Like he realized what happened, attempted to maneuver out of it, but just hit the ground. At least from the Tacview. I don't know. That might have just been a decent separation thing. I know this match seemed to have a decent going on.
That was the most entertaining round of SATAL I've seen.
And, to make this round even better, Sheik's out of fuel.
Oh, wow. He's coasting in right now.
I was wondering, why is there no sound? And it's because he doesn't have fuel.
Does he even, I saw him pull the gear back up. I guess he didn't want the drag.
There goes the gear.
There it comes.
And how fast is he? 180? Oh, he's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's not optimal landing. Once again, all you gotta do is slide the sucker down the runway strip and you're good.
Wow! What a bounce! Look at him go!
That was all that speed right there.
Oh, man.
What happens if he actually dies here?
It's a draw.
It's a draw, but it looks...
No, he's alright, but yeah.
What a turkey draw we got going on here. It dips the wing.
What a conclusion
breaks the gear
to this
matchup.
Star points at the end there.
What a conclusion to this matchup. That was out of fuel, almost flips the aircraft over, just had it all. So, guys, we're going to take a break. I'm going to get the next match set up, and we will be back. Phoenix Task Force is currently winning, very close to a draw, but is currently up 1-0.
I'm pretty sure Crucial.
Get some feedback there from Guido. He's saying
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here, Phoenix Task Force here at Gudada, and we will be taking off momentarily. Sorry, but Lobo, what was the feedback you heard?
He's just saying that our voices are a bit low when we're next to jets. That's all.
I turned it down.
Okay.
So what was your guys' take? Well, before we get into the takeaway, I want to give some people were asking to get some highlights and stuff behind the teams. And I think you guys missed when I was talking about who's flying for each team. So we've got Black, Falcon, Predator, Gory, who's Ali, and who's this one? And Toxin, representing for Phoenix Task Force. Phoenix Task Force, from what I understand, is out of the Middle East. A lot of their guys are Iranian, European. Not that Europe is Middle East, but, just from that part of the world. And they're a new team to SATAL this year. So we got an F-14 actually Toxin right now. But they're a new team to SATAL this year. They're doing fairly well. They've got a Diamond and a Gold League team. Somebody was asking about Tacviews. Tacview will not happen until the end of the stream. We're trying something new. I'm trying to condense everything as much as possible. Tacviews will happen at the end, and we'll go through everything. But these guys are new. Gold and Diamond Leagues teams, and I think both of their teams are in relatively the middle of the pack, if you will. And then 36th Stormo, they're veterans to the competitive stage, and they're from Italy. I about said Italia, but they're from Italy, and they've been around for quite some time. A lot of the guys that are in 36 have flown DCS for a significant margin and can be a force to be reckoned with. They're typically right in the thick of it as far as competitiveness, right in the middle of the pack. They've historically flown 6v6. They flew 6v6 last year, which was the first year we had gold available, and they could have flown gold, but they chose to stick with 6v6, and for some teams, that's just their cup of tea. But back in here to what everybody's doing, we'll visit with what 36 is doing after departure, but Black is leading the way for Phoenix Task Force in his F-14, and we talked about this, really aggressive takeoff there. We talked about this last round where the Tomcat didn't seem to do much, but then he came out of nowhere and got the last kill.
Waiting in the weeds there.
Waiting in the weeds, I think, is an understatement. He almost became a weed when he ran out of fuel.
That's true. No, they played that one pretty tight there, kind of hanging him back. But at the same note, good fuel management there at the end of that 14 to actually still be able to make it back after doing what he had to do. He still had to go in there and kind of manage probably very low fuel going in to get that last kill. And fortunately had the Phoenix to do it. So very good composure on his part, not blasting away those Phoenixes. Early on through the match, he still had that one there at the end when he needed it. So I said credit to him. I think that was a smart game plan by Phoenix Task Force in that last round. I think I'm curious to see how this goes. What does 36 Stormo do a little bit differently? I feel like they were able to kind of get pushed back up against those mountains relatively early on in that first round, and I think that didn't help them much there. They seemingly had Phoenix Task Force pushing them from many different directions, and I think that kind of slowed them down early on in that whole thing. So with things being flipped now, is that not necessarily as much of an option? Do we see them hang feet wet more, and so on and so forth?
If I were in their position, I would want to be feet wet. You gain the situational awareness with everybody's radars. They don't have data links, so I would not want to be anywhere close to mountains because I want my ability to scan with my radar and my sensors to be paramount. I don't want people to be able to hide from it. I want them to have to fight me on level playing field where I think I would be able to take them out, and that would be sensor manipulation.
No, I agree there. Having that clear space, I think, is the right way to go. Two different formations here. We're seeing a much more spread out, wider deal from the Phoenix Task Force guys, with the 36 guys more training in, I think, in pairs maybe.
Let's take a look at what you're seeing. Yeah, 36 definitely looks like they have more of a, well, kind of formation-esque. There's semblance of formations here. And it may just be that these guys are trying to regroup, but Drigo and Falcon are rocking in a 2-ship. And then if we look at Phoenix Task Force, well, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, Falcon and Predator are in a 2-ship, and then you've got this blob behind them. So pretty similar setups coming for both teams. Will it stay that way? I don't know. Do you guys think
What are your thoughts on the Mirage? You know, if it survives longer than 10 minutes here, what are your thoughts? Because it's pretty light on missiles, right? So.
I really think that if you're going to use the Mirage, you have to take that approach we see Taw take, where that thing needs to be up very high, being very fuel efficient, running around, making people chase it. I think if you try to do too many cutesy things with it at this point, it's not in a good position with the amount of with the types of airframes it's up against here. So unless you're talking about using mountains, staying low and staying unseen, or being very high and very hard to catch, you're going to struggle, I think, in SATAL and the Mirage. And that's not to say somebody might develop a strategy here that we haven't seen, and that could be very well effective. But from the way I see it, unless you're doing either of those two things, it's going to be a short day in that Mirage.
The Mirage does very well. We've seen Savior do it a lot. I think he transitions the 18 and the 16 because they're just more capable aircraft, but the Mirage is very good at being very aggressive. If you know how to get low and you know how to notch, the Mirage does very well at recovering energy. It does very well at high alpha maneuvers. So you can throw yourself into the notch, bleed all of your energy, come out of the notch and be on them again, regaining your energy and your speed. Usually a lot better than a lot of the other aircraft can. And its RCS is bupkis. So missiles just do not care about it.
Now, what do you think about the Super 530? Do you think it's a capable missile?
As long as you're in close. The Super 530 it's one of the best maneuvering missiles out there. It used to have a significant advantage over the AMRAAM, but now that the AMRAAM's gotten the buff that it did several months ago, it doesn't have as much of an advantage. But if you get in close, it's a tough one to get away from. And it accelerates very, very quickly. It's a very fast missile.
First volley there from both of those sides. Looks like four plus missiles from each side going across there. But
I'm not a huge supporter of these volleys, if you will. Especially with so many 16s in the fray, you don't have the weapon stores to be able to support this type of game plan going in my opinion.
I tend to think they got lucky against that Mirage in round one. That's not the norm on those types of maneuvers. So definitely they tried for that similar thing again here, and it looked like now both these teams are very much so to the wise on that whole deal.
Now last round, did you guys see the flankers do anything aside from kill each other?
Not really. I mean, I definitely saw some 77s and some ERs flying across the table there, but I didn't see anything substantial. He's got that light on, though. Gotta have those
Show
lights
it dominance.
On. Gotta have those lights on.
Now, the fact that the Super 530, I just want to talk about this missile a little bit more because we don't see it a lot in SATAL, but, you know, it is a Fox 1. Now, against the AMRAAMs, you know, how have you, when you have seen it being employed by the Mirage, you know, is he able to maintain that crank and support that thing to a kill usually, or does he have to just bail out of there?
Absolutely not. He will die.
Yeah, and especially in 6v6. Maybe, excuse me, in 4v4 you can get away with something like that, but in 6v6, there's just too many different planes looking at you, I think, to try to be able to pull that off effectively.
Now, when I was talking about the Mirage being able to be aggressive, that wasn't me saying that it's good or a great performance aircraft in a SATAL arena. That's just what, in my opinion, you have to do with it to make it effective, or take the savior approach and fly it 50,000 feet and see what you can make happen. But for the most part, you're going to be outgunned by virtually everything else in the sky.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think unless you have a very specific plan, and you are very on top of executing that, it's a bad move. You have to really know what you're doing in that thing and say it's all to use it here and actually get something out of it aside from just a quick death.
Yeah, just looking at Wolf there, he flies that ER and then turns cold pretty much straight away, and so that's just basically a wasted ER, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's really difficult in the flanker to get those relevant shots, but I think Wolf is going to have an even worse day, as he has a Phoenix coming in at 2,000 knots, and this thing is going to plaster him all over the ocean floor. So we talked about the bollards hitting people and people having a bad day. Well, when you get hit by a Phoenix that's a telephone pole, you're going to have an even worse day. And that was a good launched Mark 60. It hit him just coming out of its boost stage.
Yeah, that was a nicely timed shot. Good parameters.
It's interesting seeing 36 staying over the land here as well. You can see that they are trying to fight their own fight over there, I'd say, by not going feet wet.
I think their position's okay. They're still over the flatland, but they have the mountains at their back. So if they do need to egress, they do have a place to hide, right? So they have the ability to look out over the water and get a really good picture, but they can hide in the mountains if they do need to. So I don't think their positioning is necessarily bad. I don't want them hiding in the mountains, because that's going to be a significant loss to their situational awareness. But we'll just have to see if they're able to make use out of their current positioning. They are down 5 to 6 right now.
Yeah, I think they lost one. They're the only team to have lost somebody, right? With 36.
Yes, yeah. So they lost the Mirage in Witcher at the very beginning of last round. So they've lost the first pilot during each one of these rounds.
And we talked.
Sorry, go ahead, Billy.
I was say we talk about that historically, how losing the first pilot can really be a big morale kill and a big momentum kill for that team. And in a lot of cases, it takes a lot for a team to kind of bounce back through that first, or especially early kills. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, we got some interesting comments regarding the 27ER in chat there, but I seem to remember a few years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, the 27ER being put to good use by the 51st in SATAC and SATAL, and so how come things have changed there?
Well, you've had a sizable increase in performance for the AMRAAM. The AMRAAM flies a lot better. Its energy management is a lot better. It's the aircraft that carry them are a lot better. It's just, you're considering putting the flanker that is from the late 80s, early 90s against aircraft that are from 1.5 to 2 decades with their systems that they have on their aircraft. Obviously, the 16 and Drigo! Chappie, no! And he got taken down. I guess he just blacked out there, but they're down to 4 pilots. It's 6v4 now.
Is his lights flashing? Yeah.
And look at Witcher, man, down all the way in the south in that Mirage. He's feet wet now, but Predator is eyeing him off here with a 120C at 15 miles.
And we've got another Phoenix shot coming from the Phoenix Task Force Tomcat. I can't tell who that's on. Let's give you guys split screen so you can see it. It's coming in on Airwolf, and it's still got some get up and go. 2,000 knots, and it got notched. Squirrel!
Yep.
And she's out of there.
And I think, back to what you're talking about as far as the missiles and whatnot, I think, you look at the different the different, planes that have been developed in that period of time, and for reasons I think ED has stated quite a bit at this point, and that how difficult it is to produce, the Russian full fidelity modules. It's going to create a deficit there. We're not able to kind of add in some of the newer Russian technology. And that's going to create, I think I said, a deficit in that department at the end of the day.
Well, I think the R-27 and the ER are still used.
They are, correct. But the like we said, the airframes that employ them haven't really taken that full fidelity bath that we've seen some of the Western stuff take.
The what hasn't taken the full fidelity bath?
We haven't seen the Eastern Plains get that same treatment.
Oh,
right? We
yeah.
haven't seen,
Yeah.
You know, where they come through and they kind of reanalyze and redo. And granted, they just tweaked some of the Russian missiles and whatnot, which was very much due. But I think if we were to start seeing, some of the newer Russian planes on par with the Hornet and stuff like that, make their way in full.
Ali now is in for a bad time. He's got a 120 coming in from rather close. There it is, coming from high to low. Half mile. Ali doesn't get away from this. He didn't get into it. He wasn't thinking ahead of his airplane well enough. Didn't get low and slow enough to be able to notch that. The missile was launched from too close to be able to effectively out-energy it, and he gets taken down. So 36 is finally able to get themselves on the scoreboard, and we're down to a 4v5.
That is a 7-mile Phoenix coming out of Black Arrow now, or Black Arrow on Airwolf.
He should be okay, as long as he notches
7-mile
this.
Phoenix.
Is it tracking him? It doesn't look like it's tracking him. It is tracking him.
Yeah,
he's gonna die. He died.
Yeah, he's big dead.
Big dead. He gets taken down, and now we're down to a 5v3, guys. And Witcher, I don't know where he's going, but Falcon is in a really good spot against Predator, and Predator's in trouble. Predator gets taken down. He got pounced on at high altitude, and Falcon just seems to have Predator's number. Falcon continues to find himself high and fast, right behind or in front of people, and they don't see him. So we're down to a 3v3.
3v3. They just even this up here, and folks, we might have another close one here as this thing begins to get into the latter.
Witcher needs to get himself back into that fight, though.
He does. But Falcon, I think, is putting this on his back. He's now behind Black. Black's in trouble. That AMRAAM was launched from inside 4 miles, and Falcon just recognized, hey, I got the first kill. I'm just going to carry on. Nobody's pressuring me. Finds Balak and puts a 120 on him and takes out a second member of Phoenix Task Force. So Falcon single-handedly reversing this round. We had a trade up here to the north, so now we're down to a 2v1, and the trade took place right over Sakumi, and we can see the wreckage falling over top of Falcon. You can see it right over his tail stabilizer. You could, and it hit Sakumi. We're down to a 2v1 now. Falcon now dragging into Witcher. Are we going to finally see Witcher be able to do something?
Falcon just punched his bags off as well.
Witcher, right, with a full loadout, as it looks like Falcon's dry on ammo there, Winchester, if you will.
So Witcher, I don't think sees Toxin, but Falcon's doing a really good job of dragging him right in front of Witcher. If I had to critique anything, I would have liked to see Falcon, instead of turning right, give it a 10 to 20 degree turn left, pull Toxin's nose away from Witcher so that Witcher doesn't get illuminated by Toxin's radar, and allow Witcher to get the perpendicular approach right across Toxin's beach. But
that's
Toxin
a 4-mile super right there.
Has got a 4-mile 530 on him, and this is bad news, Bears.
Yep.
I think he gets taken out. Witcher in the Mirage, finally able to capitalize on something. Was off on a picnic, but comes in. Falcon does an excellent job of dragging and bagging Toxin right in front of Witcher. So hats off to Falcon for that round. I would give that kill to Falcon, in my honest opinion.
No, agreed. I think clearly the man of the round there, Falcon, like as you said earlier, really put the team on his back and kind of dragged everybody through that whole match there. I'm curious what Toxin had for weapons at the end there, because I would have liked to have seen him try to pick up that Mirage 2000, because if he could have bumped him back and continued fighting Falcon, might have had a shot here, but without picking up that Mirage low, he was in trouble.
He certainly would have had a shot, because Falcon has no weapons.
That's right, so he would have been on the stage chasing if he could have. I'm guessing he only had one missile left, or if not, maybe none. I'm not sure what happened there, but that was tough spot to be in there.
He may have not have had anything. I mean, we've seen early in these 2 rounds that we've seen so far, exacerbated use of missiles. I mean, there's been no want or desire to conserve weapons going into these fights. I mean, people are like opening it up. You get a missile, you get one. Here's some gun ammo for you, especially in round 1. Sorry, low blow, we didn't end an emerge there on that one. But it was I think that very well could have come down to Toxin not having any weapons either, recognizing there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to be able to outrun a Mirage, and just kind of thrown in the towel.
And
I mean, good job to Phoenix. Sorry, Billy. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just commenting on the fuel status. He's full gate. It looks like he's going to make it back, but nothing there.
Well, I was going to say good job to 36th there. You know, basically with Witcher all the way in the south, they were a man down, and it was for Phoenix. It just seemed like a case of where'd all my friends go, because within a couple of minutes they just evaporated, and then all of a sudden Witcher was able to come and support Falcon. And as you say, good play by Falcon to drag the last jet there towards the Mirage.
That's never a good position to be in, to be thinking, where'd everybody go? And have that John Travolta meme, you looking around in your cockpit, just, I'm by myself. I don't know where anybody is. You don't want to find yourself in that position, especially as the team with less pilots, right? That's just not a good place to be. And I got to give 36, went down to 3 pilots and came back down pilots virtually the entire time, and came back and was able to win that round. So hats off to them. And I gotta again say, Falcon single-handedly won that match.
Yeah, I agree. No, this is proving to be the close matchup that we thought it could be, just based upon where these guys are in the standings and what they've done in their previous matches so far this season. So great to see that this is kind of panning out the way we had hoped here. Both these teams really fighting hard, showing they want the win here. I don't think that's always the case. Both teams definitely showing up hungry today, though.
And we're one apiece. So we're going to round 3, which doesn't happen very often, especially in Diamond.
Right.
But we're going to round 3. 36 and Phoenix Task Force tied at 1 apiece after a monstrous showing by 36 Falcon. Guys, round 3 coming at you in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with round 3. 36 taking on Phoenix Task Force. The Italians taking on the Middle Easterns. Who's going to come out on top? I have no idea, but Falcon put round 2 on his back. Is the momentum going to carry for 36 Stormo? Are they going to be able to continue the onslaught into the crucible of the world?
You've been in a few of these positions, haven't you, where you've gone into a decider. Would you be coming out super aggressive, or would you be playing it safe?
If I was flying with my team and we were down in this situation, you have to stick to your game plan. I think what ends up costing people is when they try and come up with specific game plans for specific opponents. When you do that and you fly in ways that you haven't practiced, you're gonna have a bad time. It's really important to fly how you train and to train how you fly. When you start doing either one of those things differently, things have a tendency to blow up in your face. So if you're an aggressive team, fly aggressively. If you're a defensive team, fly defensively. The key is to not get emotional, to not get discouraged or despondent, and to fly and buckle down how you know you can fly best. The teams that break down and break down first, in my opinion, are the ones that almost always come out with the goose egg.
No, and I agree. It's play to your strengths that, and I think the hard part is identifying your strengths. Some teams, I think, struggle to do that at times, but identifying your strengths and playing to them, I think, is a crucial thing for a lot of the squadrons to kind of figure out and game planner out.
Billy, can you move your mic closer to you?
Sorry. Oh, yeah. I mean, when I sat back down, it must have got moved down. I was going to say, can we stop for a second and just appreciate how beautiful of a design the F-18 Hornet is? Look at how pretty that thing is.
What?
It's easily peak fighter aircraft design.
What?
I mean, we're just talking pure design. Pure design, look, lines.
Look!
It doesn't get any.
What are you
The
smoking?
flanker is going to snub you out in your sleep.
No. Get out of here.
What are you talking about?
Get out of here.
No.
It's
Flanker,
Spin
no
the camera around.
question.
Take a look from the front. Get a beauty shot from the front.
Look at this thing.
Roll it around for me.
Look at that. Look at these lines. Curves, the hips,
It looks like a goose.
the booty.
It's like a goose or a swan.
Swans are gorgeous. It's like a
It's a big
danger
long neck.
noodle. It's like a
big long neck with that tail thing sticking out the
dude.
back.
It's like a viper chicken. I don't know what you're talking about or you're worried
No,
about.
I won't argue that. A viper chicken, yeah. Yes.
I love that thing. This thing.
It looks like a bird trying to drink water.
The Hornet looks like a.
Look at that big old bend in its big old long neck. Oh, look,
Yeah.
there you go. There's peak performance right there.
No. I mean, if we really want to talk about the perfect thing, F-22. But
Well, I mean, while we're talking within DCS, the F-18.
Okay, in DCS,
prettiest looking fighter,
no.
Period.
flanker, get out of
Yeah.
here. Take your shenanigans and get out of here.
I'm writing this down because I feel like this is a blog post. Like, what is the prettiest looking plane in DCS? We're gonna have this debate on the website
Well,
soon enough.
flyable plane?
Mirage.
No,
Just because
dude,
you fly the
a giant
Mirage?
triangle? It's a giant triangle.
Yeah, it's a Dorito. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a triangle. That right there is beauty.
It's like
in
a-
ocean right there, my friend.
He just said that right there, and he was talking about the flanker. I just want to point that out.
No, that's not.
I just want to
that's
point
not
that out.
what's on my screen right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
It's not what's on
Dude,
my screen.
the Mirage looks like a Dorito with roller skates. I mean, it's got this like snorkel thing. It's a missile with wings. It's a tube.
Man.
No.
Man, in BFM ACM, the Mirage, it's the Dorito from hell. You need to be scared of.
We're not debating performance though. It's all about
It
looks.
just looks like a triangle. It looks like a Dorito.
It's a Dorito.
But you know the best thing about being a triangle? Nobody can tell
Look at
which
it.
way you're pointing.
Here's another question, and we're getting into the missile shots here, so we'll wrap this up. But if there were French Doritos, what flavor would they be? I'll leave that to the chat. But back to the match.
I'm actually going to move away from the Dorito. I think it's more like a bugle.
What type of obscure snack food is the Hornet?
That's a good question. What's a Tomcat? A Tomcat with its wings back looks more like a Dorito.
It does.
And I think if it was a flavor of a Dorito, it would be a Cool Ranch Dorito. That's
Okay.
what I'm going
All right.
with.
Cool Ranch. I'm way more partial to Cool Ranch than nacho cheese, but you know.
Dude, nacho
I
cheese.
know
If you're
that's
going to
a
go the
debate.
cheese route, you got to go spicy nacho.
Yeah, okay. Won't argue that one bit either. You know, if you're gonna go big, right? You know, go big or go home. That's what they say.
I mean, it's like mixing
French
flaming
onion.
hot Cheetos with Doritos. I mean, not that spicy Doritos are hot at all, but you know.
This is making me hungry.
I'm getting there myself, brother. Getting there myself.
I had stuffed crust pizza for breakfast.
That sounds delicious and very college dorm.
No wonder you're always in a bad mood. If that's what your diet's like.
No wonder I'm always in a bad mood. What does that mean?
I wouldn't say Moltar's always in a bad mood. I'd say Moltar can shift to the mood he needs to be in pretty damn quickly.
Like if
he's
I'm angry about
malnutrition.
something, I'm angry. If I'm happy, I'm happy.
Get very animated at times.
Yeah,
It's
it's all about the animation.
right. Exactly. And
You
so does anyone?
You go and hibernate after SATAL streams, Walter? You come off that
actually
sugar
do.
high.
Sugar high. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, wolf. Oh, wolf. Oh, wolf. Oh, no. Beautiful wolf and his beautiful flanker is about to be, an ugly wolf. The big bad wolf is in pieces. Little Red Riding Hood the Phoenix, came out and beat
And that's an early
wolf
shot
down.
there.
Yeah, it was.
That's
I
my
got to
first
get
one.
rid of our faces. But that was... He is beautiful no longer. It was like that YouTube sensation video where the guy grabs the swan by the neck and just chucks it back into the
Yeah.
water. Yeah, that's what happened. And the Phoenix
Yeah.
was the guy. But
Right.
every single time, guys, 36th has had the first casualty. every single round.
That is a very difficult thing to kind of come back from, but they've clearly got used to the adapting to being down a man. And I think at the end of the day, the psychology of that, there are some groups of guys out there who are going to respond better when the chips kind of get stacked against them in those moments. So there might be something to that, where 36 actually flies better when they're down a man type deal, where it actually kind of brings everybody to the level they need to be at to win. So
Black Arrow is seemingly merged with Airwolf, and that 120 is chasing him. That 120 is, he's not going to get a warning from that. Is it going to hit him? Is that, it tried. It tried. It's still trying, and it didn't do it. That was close. If you were going to be close, that was as close as you're going to get. And I doubt he had any idea that was coming after him. Not a clue that was happening. But now Black Arrow is now launching onto Drigo, and that was another high to low shot. But this one I think is going to have better luck. And if the Viper was a snack food, I don't know what he'd be.
Man,
Chad,
Black Arrow is committed. Look at him, dude.
He's who is the guy
he
from
is surrounded,
coming in at Mach 1.8? Who is our
and
man doing that?
But he has 36 guys on every single side.
Oh,
of him
he
right
gives
now.
no cares.
He's deep, but I'm assuming at this point,
I think he's going to kill Witcher. He could have very easily gotten 3 kills. This Amram's going to plow into Witcher like a snow plow into your mailbox. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything that didn't work. I don't know. But Black Arrow is just on a rampage.
Yeah. He's like, a team? What's that? What's a team? I don't need a fucking
There's
team.
no iron team.
I mean, they're like all hanging. Somebody just shot a Phoenix from like way the hell back there, but like they're almost like, let's let him go do this.
And
thing.
then Black Arrow just doesn't even care about missiles coming after him. This 120 on him from Falcon, don't care. No cares. No cares.
Off the rail, it goes
and
there.
here comes one of
Now
Ghost.
he's turning into that.
What is this? And then Ghost dies. Black Arrow is, and then oh my god, you guys didn't see that.
And now,
but the
Airwolf is
AMRAM, guys,
about to
the
get
AMRAM that came by Black Arrow flew 4 feet in front of his aircraft, and he just said, "Don't care. I don't care."
Dismantled that whole other team. I mean, dismantled them. Now he's turning back. He's gonna get the Airwolf kill, because now Airwolf's sandwiched between Ali and Black Arrow, and I don't know. Maybe
This is like, remember Unreal Tournament? Multi-kill.
Yeah, pretty
like,
much.
He's just like gone in there and like wrecked everything, dude.
This is well past
Now
multi-kill. This is
we're
borderline
one
monster
step
kill
here.
or, the funny
there
ones.
we go. He's gonna get the A9 kill on Airwolf.
This is it.
He doesn't even know. Oh man. Wow.
What a round.
Almost effortlessly came in and just single-handedly won that match.
Yeah, well,
God.
yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what that was like. That Black Arrow, I wish you guys could have seen that, but there was an AMRAM while he was engaging everybody, and I said this earlier, came within 4 feet of his cockpit. He's like, death? I don't give no shits about death. Come and get me.
He enters that at Mach 1.5, and it is almost, he gets a majority of those kills over Mach 1, even on the deck. I mean, he carried so much speed and momentum into that area where he was back there, and he was able to capitalize on that
guys,
and really kind of shoot those missiles out.
He still has 3 tanks on.
Oh my god. That is just dirty.
If he had his lights on, it would have been perfect. And I also want to point out that the last missile he launched was his last missile.
I mean, impressive there. I'd like to know more so what happened from the 36 perspective there. Like, how was he not dealt with sooner?
Well, there's no AWACS. When this is one of those things, again, the John Travolta meme, everybody's just dying around you. You can't find the guy that's killing you, and it's hard to deal with. Once somebody gets in your midst, if you don't have data link and you don't have I really need to point this out, guys. If you don't fly with data link and you're flying in team situations, it is very important to have a decent amount of separation between flights so that you can find people in situations like this. That's exactly what happened. Everybody from 36 was right on top of one another. They were going this way and that, and nobody had a position that could give them the entire picture from one point. And Black Arrow or Bollock Arrow, Bollocks.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say his name. That's why I'm calling
But
him Black.
the thing is, you know that on this egress back to base, these guys are just laughing their asses off. Like they would have found this hilarious. You know?
Yeah,
He
no,
just
I think what we saw out of Phoenix Task Force was definitely had a plan here. And
What we saw from Phoenix Task Force, it was Black Arrow and only Black Arrow in round 3.
Right, and it's almost like they sent him in there and had him be the main aggressor, tried to see what he could do coming in there with all that speed. And even if he died on that, on that ingress there, on that aggressive push, there was still 4 or 5 of them in the weeds back there ready to go. So I'm not sure if that was a conscious decision. But,
Maybe he was supposed to be, and guys, maybe he was supposed to be like the non-white character in movies that typically dies first, that people make fun of in situations where, he's whatever, he's going to die first. That's just a running joke, at least here in the States, that happens. Guys, please don't hate me, I'm not racist. But anyway, maybe it was that situation, and Phoenix Task Force was like, all right, we'll play the narrative. He's supposed to go in there and die, and then he didn't die and just killed everyone instead, and it was the super arrow instead of the dead arrow.
Right, yeah, I think sending him in there, it seems like it was very intent, or very, very much so their intent to send him in there with that strategy of seeing what you can do in that F-15 with a lot of speed, kind of wrecking in there and shooting everything you see, and then they'll clean up whatever you don't get if you get killed. And he was just able to do all of it, and I think that really made
or the alternative situation was in between rounds. Falcon said to Black Arrow, I bet you can't wipe out the entire enemy team with your bags on. He said, hold my beer.
I think he went in there saying, there's no I in team, only an M and an E for me. I think that's what he did. He just went in there, took it on his back, said, Falcon, hold my beer, and showed 36 Falcon, instead of killing 3 people, I'm going to kill your whole team. I don't know if he killed the whole team, but it sure as hell seemed like he did.
He goes out, and we'll see this here in a second once we start checking out the Tacviews, but he purposely swings out off the formation of the main group, out over the water, gets a bunch of altitude and a bunch of speed, and just wrecks right in there. So it seemed like it was very much so an attempt at doing that, just based upon what he does prior to kind of getting into that position. Like, it doesn't look like he pushed forward and then all of a sudden he just kind of ended up back there because he got too aggressive with it. Like, he came in there like a bat out of hell with every intent of coming through there like a bull in a china shop, and mission accomplished there, dude, no doubt.
Well, he came in a straight line, and while he was still on that straight line trajectory, wiped out 3 jets without even changing course. Then he made a left turn, and in the course of making that left turn, he wiped out the other 2 jets.
Yep. And I believe until he's over Mach 1.2 till right about the time where he makes that turn to come back around. I mean, he's carrying a ton of speed into that whole thing, and really does do a good job of not wasting it.
Yeah, and chat pointed out that it was Sineg from Todd doing that Mach 1.8 stuff. That was
right.
Sinegus.
Right, yeah, it did. Almost like they were channeling a little bit of that right there, no doubt. And they definitely, I think, have kind of laid the blueprint for how to take some of these airframes up very high, very fast, and take that energy, do a lot with it.
Well, he did a lot with it. He got really close to getting that early kill. That AMRAAM was sniffing, and it was, if he would have launched it a little bit earlier and the AMRAAM could have gotten a little bit lower, he would have gotten that very first kill that we were all laughing about, high to low, and it was coming down from right on top of him. He could have very easily gotten that kill if he would have launched it a little bit earlier, but he didn't, and I don't know that he got that kill. I don't remember.
I mean, that challenged the first round for entertainment value, but in a completely different way.
Yeah, right.
Total ridiculousness is what that gave in entertainment value there.
All this match does is make me want the F-15E from Razbam that much more. Like, can we please get that finished? And
I don't know. I mean, if it's modeled anything like the MiG-19, it'll be the space shuttle. if it's modeled like the MiG-19.
Yet to see what we're getting in that department. So yeah, valid point there. But man, do I want an F-15, like a full fidelity F-15? Not to mention to have that, that two-seater capacity that the F-15E offers, with the ability to kind of work with somebody in that pit, share those duties, because it's roughly the same thing, front seat versus back seat, when you're talking F-15E. So it's really just kind of two guys deciding who's doing what and who's managing what. And I think you add that into the whole SATAL picture here, and you have an F-15 that's basically on par with the F-14, with a little bit of difference.
Look at this hodgepodge of landings going on. It's like everyone is landing at once. Like literally 3 people touch down at the same time.
This is so strange.
And then Ali tried, and then he broke away. Black
They're
Arrow's
still too
breaking
busy.
away.
They're still too busy laughing about how the round was played.
They say they need air traffic control.
But no matter how it looks, they still landed, and nobody blew up, which is
it's the important
all
thing.
that needs to happen. If you don't blow up, that's the only thing that matters. So we're going to move on to the Tacview. I'm going to send this back to a Be Right Back screen, guys. What we're trying to do, just so anybody that is new and doesn't know, we're trying to compact these things. I'm trying to make it easier for me to cut so I can take all of the garbage out and make the YouTube streams or the YouTube replays a lot more streamlined. So for anybody on YouTube that is watching this now, check out the Tacview video, it's probably the next video posted. So make sure you go check that out. If you don't want to check that out, have a good one. Stay safe in those virtual skies, and we'll see you later. But for any of you guys that do want to check it out, we are going to check that out in the other video. And if you're here live in the stream, obviously, we are going to move over and check that out here in a few minutes after I get that set up. So we will be right back. Go get some whatever you want, beverage, popcorn, Twizzlers, Doritos, preferably Cool Ranch or Bugles if you're Moltar. But we'll be right back. We'll be breaking things down. We're going to try and do it rather quickly because I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. But Tacview coming at you here in just a minute.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to go through the Tacview. I'm going to get rid of our friendly faces so you guys can see this a bit better. But this is the first kill that takes place. This is coming from Witcher. It was launched from Toxin, and we're back to round 1, by the way, and it is here. 25 miles. And this is just no respects given to this incoming missile. Witcher isn't overly fast. He's under Mach 1, 35,000 feet. That is not a position you want to be in. He doesn't start defending until he gets the missile warning, 35,000 feet. You got to anticipate this stuff happening. If you're reactionary, you're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to have a bad time. And he has the worst time because he's dead. You can't have a good time when you're dead.
We talk about this a lot on here, Moltar, and best way to win in SATAL is to not die, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right, yeah.
Holmes, the Zoom is fine. You get off your high horse. Zoom is fine. Go away. Anyway, next one is Bullock gets taken out, or Black Arrow. Black Arrow doesn't fare too well in this round 1. He dies right after Witcher, whereas it launches a 120 coming in on Ghost. There goes the 120 onto Wolf. Oh, this is when Bullock, from those of you that weren't here for the stream, Bullock had his rear gear down. We have no idea why. We have no idea if it was like a mating ritual, or, he drops the gear like birds deploy feathers or whatever, and he was trying to maybe call out to Wolf or somebody else to say, I'm here and I'm beautiful. Well, that didn't work. because he launched everything and then lagged out, gave up on life, and flew into the ground. And again, dying is bad.
Not sure what's wrong. She's not handling right. I'm taking her into the ground. Oh, man.
But Bollock gets taken out effectively on his own accord. Nobody launched. Well, it was an R-77 from Airwolf, which is like a neutered animal coming at you. It's not going to do anything from those ranges. But Bollock gets taken down, and now we move on to Drigo. Where is Drigo? Drigo. Is Drigo already dead? There he is.
He died early in the second one.
Yeah, he's right here. So he's coming in against Toxin. Now he's against Ali. And he does fairly well at defending all of these. He recognizes that this missile is out of energy. Right, yeah. Recognizes it's out of energy, recommits. I like that recommit. You can tell decently well on your RWR by how fast it's approaching you, by if it's staying stationary on the radar warning receiver, if the missile is in fact out of energy, and if you take a final turn, if you're going to be able to out energy it. And he does a decent job at doing it. He recognizes it's not closing on him. I'm going to recommit, does it well, and recommits. And now he's not head on. He's chasing down two cold bandits, Predator and Falcon. So we talked about this in the stream. I like that he recognizes nobody is on me. I'm going to continue to press. Presses here, and then finally recognizes I'm being painted by Toxin. Doesn't wait for the missile warning and breaks off. I like that. But nope, no buts. I thought he was going to recommit there, but doesn't. He does a good job of recognizing when he needs to get the hell out of Dodge. So still riding along with Drigo. And he continues to do a really good job, guys, of getting away from these missiles. He's putting on a masterclass of defense. Really good job. Until he dies, which I think he dies here. Yeah, it's right here. And the reason I think he dies is because he's defending one missile from one angle, and he flies while defending directly into the path of the other one.
Yeah, I believe this is the one where I was like, if he had just evaded, yeah.
Well, if he would have trusted the notch.
No, I think
he didn't trust it. DC or Low Blow's already calling it, just notch it, bro. And he doesn't. He's really he's already notching it. And then he just doesn't stick in it. Decides, panic! And jumps out of his notch and turns away and gets plowed by it. Gets booped in the butt by a baller.
It was the second RWR warning that threw him off. He was dealing with that first one, I'm assuming.
I think he would have had the RWR warnings from both of them the entire time.
That's true. Yeah, he would have.
I think he just panics. Like, this thing is getting closer. It's really close, and it's still tracking me, and just panics and gets booped. And being booped isn't something good when the boopy has an explosive thing attached to the end of him. That's not a place you want to be in.
Yep.
So he gets taken out. And who is left? I think we're missing. Oh, this was the fratricide that we were going to look at. So it's
right.
Is this J11?
Yeah,
this is J11 on J11.
Yep.
Yeah, and it looks like he lets him know, hey, I think I just shot one at you, evade. And it looks like Wolf tries to evade very quickly, but ends up maneuvering into the ground. When I quickly looked at it before, as it looked like what happened, because it didn't look like it was close enough that was a decent missile kill, but it still might have been. I didn't zoom in enough to know.
I think this was simply, I see somebody in Erst. He may have been tracking somebody in Erst earlier, but I see somebody in Erst. I'm not going to blip on my radar to check him, and I'm going to fire, and that's exactly what happened, and Wolf got taken down. Guys, if you're going to try and defend these, remember when Billy earlier was talking about how, or maybe this was off camera, he was talking about Athena really they enjoy defending IR shots.
Right. The
only way you're going to defend this IR shot is if you get your engines away from the goddamn seeker head of the IR missile.
Don't be in full burner.
And don't be in gate. If you have your engines facing this thing, it's just going to see two giant heat sources, and it is not going to give two shits about any flares that you deploy. You have got to get your engines out of the face of the missile, which means counterintuitively, you bet your ass you better turn into that missile or you're going to die. You're going to die.
You know what's better? Not getting an ET shot at you from 3 miles behind you to begin with.
Dude.
No, that's a
36th Airwolf. I think it's funny that Airwolf took out Wolf. He's like, I'm the superior Wolf, and you don't belong here.
I can't believe we didn't piece together that there was 2 Falcons, one on each side, in the start of this whole thing, and how it really never caused a problem.
There are 2 Falcons and there are 2 Wolves, and it is just confusing as all hell. It's not cool.
Somehow, some way, we navigated those waters without like a serious like bout of confusion in the middle.
No idea. No idea. No idea how we did that. But Wolf ends up getting taken down. That could have been sidestepped by not killing your teammate, but maybe they just needed some excitement. That they thought they were doing
all the
too
good
well.
stuff in this round's about to happen with the BFM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have it. Let's have it.
Okay, so moving on. Decent shot from Falcon. He doesn't overcommit. I like that. Decent shot from Ghost. Nobody's overcommitting. This is just a showcase of thinking ahead of the airplane, or, you know, guys being low enough at this point that you can defend as soon as you get the missile warning. So I know I talked about earlier that you've got to not rely on your RWR when you're at 35,000 feet, and that's exactly why, because you're at 35,000 feet and the missile's going Mach 3. When you're lower, the missiles aren't going to perform as well. The missile, regardless of altitude, is still going to give you the radar warning at the same distance, because this is DCS. It's usually going to happen around, 8 miles or so? So the lower you get, the closer you can be or past reacting to when your RWR goes off. The higher you are, the earlier you have to react, and at some altitude and past it, you're going to have to react before your damn RWR goes off.
And I think you also need to think about, too, if you're very high, your reaction is going to be stifled due to how thin the air is, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to maneuver that jet at the same rate and at the same ability. You may be traveling faster, but your ability to change vector is much more hampered than it is at lower altitude. So if you're not already, changing vector at that altitude, by the time you get that warning, you're just not going to, all you're going to do is bleed all your energy and your momentum trying to turn more rapidly than you want to, and you're just making yourself an easier target for the missile in the process.
God, this is when things, Lobo, this is what you talked about. This is when things start getting chaotic, and the main reason that I think this happens is because there's no AWACS. There's no depth. There's no depth to these formations on the 36 side. Like, if we look at the Phoenix Task Force side, if Falcon was facing towards this area and he was higher, he'd be able to relay via PPLI all of the contacts to the leading F-16s, but he's flying away. And on the 36 side, there's nobody back here up to the north. And because of that, they have no idea where anyone is. They're just flying by the seat of their pants using their RWR, which is fine. But when you're in a team fight, you want to give yourself every advantage you can, and not having any depth to your formation is you're leaving out potential information. You're leaving potential information off the table.
Malta, let's talk about it for a second, because we hear it time and time again. We hear the real fighter pilots say it. We've heard Billy say it from Athena there. If you end up in this situation, many things have gone wrong. And here you pointed out the lack of AWACS, the dirty merge that starts to unfold because one guy gets overextended. So now you've got Ali, basically in a 1v2 by himself. I mean, Toxin's not in an immediate position to help him out, of course, depending on what's left on his jet here. But, it's a completely dirty merge. You've got 6 airplanes all within, what is this? What's the distance from Predator to, say, Ghost up the back there?
11 miles.
11 miles.
So you're exactly right. However, I will point out that the 2v1 merge that's about to unfold here between Ali, Airwolf, and Ghost isn't necessarily bad for Ali, because both of his adversaries are flying away from him. He gets really lucky that Falcon flies over him, because Falcon is tunnel visioned on Predator, and Ali is 20,000 feet below him. So if Falcon would have seen him, Ali would have been in big trouble. But I don't think Ali's in a bad place against Airwolf and Ghost. He just has to react accordingly as soon as he starts to see the nose, like you would in a 2-circle fight. Start to see that nose come around. You know that you're getting out energied or out. What's the word I'm looking for? Outrated. He needs to recognize that as soon as possible so he can get the hell out of Dodge. Because if he doesn't, and let's say Ghost turns in hot on him, and he just continues to check Airwolf, Airwolf's going to drag him into a a Dragon Bag situation. But let's see how this unfolds. Falcon does a really good job of isolating Predator. Predator was probably looking at these two guys and just doesn't see Falcon, even though they're almost at co-altitude. This happens in a later round when Falcon does effectively the same thing.
But look how fast Falcon is, 1.3.
But regardless of Falcon, look at what happens up here with the Airwolf, Ghost, and Ali merge. He doesn't see both of these contacts. He's so focused on Airwolf that he doesn't see Ghost fly right in front of him, slightly over him. And Toxin needs to be relaying this information to Ali, that he needs to have his RWR on a bigger bar scan, so he's scanning more of the sky, top to bottom, so that he can see Ghost and say, Ali, hey, you got Ghost breaking right in front of you. Go after Ghost. I'll take Airwolf. And that's, in my opinion, how this should have taken place. But instead, he does, but instead of one of them going after Ghost and one going after Airwolf, they both go after Ghost, and it gives Airwolf a decent amount of time to get himself sorted and try and make something happen.
Would you mind going into the oblique view so we can see the altitude differences here, please, Malta?
I think if you just panned.
I think you need to hit the actual airplane icon to the left. There you go. Yeah.
Zoom out a little and then just flatten it so you kind of get the side profile of where everybody is altitude-wise.
So Toxin and Ali are now both on Ghost. Ali's just he's like a lost duckling. He went on to Toxin, and then maybe Toxin or Ghost he went on to Ghost, then Toxin said, no, I'm on him. You need to be on Lee and on Airwolf. But by that point, he gave Airwolf enough time, because I think at this point, Ali is down to just guns. He gave Airwolf enough time to get the hell out of there, and it just created more chaos than I think needed to be there.
Now look at Falcon coming in and sorting on Ali. So I think here Ali eliminates Airwolf and then gets rapidly eliminated himself from the side.
Who is Falcon shooting at? Maybe that was a mistake.
Yeah, there was at least one or two instances where guys were shooting at ranges that was just almost comical how far the plane was actually in front of him, but I think we've all been there.
Now, can we just comment on this, right? Falcon throwing the slammer into basically 4 jets. I mean, how can he assure who that slammer's going to hit? Can we just talk about that for a second?
He took a bollock arrow and just said, I don't care who I kill. This is going in there, and it's getting someone.
You're 50-50 on whether you get a friendly kill or an enemy kill there with how tight everybody is. And he's lucky that both of his friendlies get killed moments before the missile actually arrives there. So yeah,
that's like relaying. That's like relaying over comms. Guys, make sure you're dead before my missile gets there.
Let him kill you guys. And then he gets one on it. I mean, talk about a series of events right there.
He gets one. He does, and he finds himself in a decent place against Ali, but he doesn't have any weapons left. Yeah. He's got guns, but no missiles. And Sheik coming in the F-14 that we can see in the top right of the screen. If I zoom out a little bit more, he's got weapons left, which you'll see here in just a minute.
Nice. Now, actually, can we zoom in on this BFM here? Because we see Lee reverse back in one circle, flat scissors in a Falcon. Let's have a look at these speeds here. This is important. The slow guy, or the guy can get his nose up and above and get slow, is going to flush the other guy out front.
If Falcon would have had a missile here, if only he would have had a missile.
Right.
And this we talk about this all the time. Weapons management. Weapons management. This could have gone a totally different way if Falcon would have had a couple AMRAAMs left.
Spending it for the eye aspect there, and then I think he nails him here. Yep.
So now we're down to Sheik against Falcon, and Falcon is up a certain creek without a paddle or a movement instrument. So he has no weapons left. Sheik has all the weapons left, including a Phoenix, which he's about to unleash onto Falcon. Let's fast forward here because there's no reason just to piddle paddle around. And here comes the Phoenix. That thing's going to slam into him while still burning, and it's going to hit him at Mach 2.
So sad that you win the BFM and then just die to a Mach 60.
Well, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But Sheik is able to come out on top, and as we saw in the live broadcast, made it back with no fuel. Almost crashed! But he stuck the landing after bouncing and didn't die, and that's the only thing that matters. Not dying. right? You make it back, you're not dead. Your crew chief may be mad at you for breaking his jet, but you won. You were the lone survivor.
Billy, should we get that made into a t-shirt as well? You can't BFM a Mark 60.
Yeah, that's not a bad one right there. You can't be a 60. It's true.
Let's move on to round 2. I don't know why this one's black and the other one wasn't, but we'll roll with it. So here we go into round 2. Get the event log, seeing what's going on here. Look at all the missiles. Billy and Low Blow.
Lots?
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's 7 missiles in the first pass. That is crazy. Crazy. When you're all F-16s, guys, you got to save those missiles. Save them. Save the
They're not
missiles.
even that fast either. They're 1.1. We talk about that, right? In the Viper, if you want to get high and fast, 1.5 to 1.8. Then you got a bit of reach. But I'm surprised that all those guys, they lob those 120s when they're still like at Mark 1, Mark 1.1.
Here's a good shot from Black Arrow in the F-14. And guys, you are allowed to change aircraft or change the aircraft you're piloting as long as the same aircraft are in the match. So you can pilot whatever aircraft you want that your team took in round 1. You just got to make sure that all of the aircraft that were in round 1 are still present, but the pilots can switch around as much as they want. So Black Arrow takes a AIM-54 shot onto Wolf, and that was launched from 18 miles. That's a good shot. Good shot. And I think Wolf's downfall here was that he split S's, doesn't get the missile warning, and by the time he gets this missile warning, it's too late. He needs to be breaking into an emergency notch turn, bleeding all of his energy, getting as dirty as possible, and he does that way too late. And
You see that Mark 60 just come in at Mark 3.
gets plowed. So he is dead. We're down to a 6v5 at this point. And every one of these rounds, 36 took the first casualty. Every single one, which is bizarre to me. Nothing unfolds here for quite some time. I like the lines that are being drawn here. I wish 36 was a little bit closer together to provide mutual support. Ghost is off in no man's land here in the middle, which is a little bit concerning. But look at all these missiles, guys. Especially from the F-16s. I mean, the F-15s too. They only carry 8. It's just only carry 8, which is more than the F-16s. But you only got 8 missiles to throw at people, and you're double tapping. And how far away was that double tap? 12 miles on guys that are already turning cold.
Yeah,
Save the missiles.
You can't get those back.
Save them.
Yeah, but that's a point to bring up as well. This ability of the guys to change airframes from round to round really makes it difficult for these guys to formulate any sort of a consistent game plan moving across these rounds.
They can't
you gotta
change
trade.
airframes. You can't change airframes.
Far.
You can change the
Black
pilots
Arrow's in
can
a 14.
trade. Yeah, because he jumped out of the 15 and moved to the 14, but the 15's still there. Somebody else just has to fly it.
Yeah,
So
Right,
like,
right, right.
You can't- In
in
SATAL, you can't take
swap.
different jets each round. You have to. The same jets have to be present in each round from round 1, but the pilots can change. The jets
My bad.
can't
I
change.
saw Black Arrow and a Tomcat and got confused.
That's okay. We understand that you're special. And Drigo, this is when Drigo flies into the ground. He blacks out, says, guys, I'm out. I've seen better days. I got better things to do. Peace! And flies into the ground. So he's gone, blacks out. We're down to a 4v6 now. I think it's 4v6. No, 4v5. Because, no, 4v6. My brain can't make up its mind. Still 4v6. And 36 is just on the down here. They can't get anything going for him. But I think it's about this point that Falcon gets in and really makes some things happen. So he's pulling a Black Arrow, which we'll see in round 3. 120 launched on Gory. Better 120 launched on Ali. That one connects. Ali gets taken down. Falcon then gives 2 craps about Toxin all over his 6. Toxin actually never sees him because Falcon doesn't stay around to make his presence known. Carries on onto the other Falcon. This is when things were confusing. Falcon shooting at Falcon, killing Falcon. It was just casting that was really weird and felt like I was talking to myself. But he ends up taking down Falcon, and then he immediately after taking down Falcon, takes down Predator. So we got 3 kills. How fast did that happen? 3 kills in under a minute.
Yeah, that was fast and furious, as we've seen a
1,
few times.
2, 3. So 3 kills for Falcon. Goes from a 5v3, 6v3, down to a 3v3. That is crazy.
Leveling the field right there, man.
Talk about a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, for real.
Doing it all on your own. He gets a 4th. Boom! 4 kills. I didn't think he got this many. 4 kills. And I think he's out of weapons. That's why he doesn't continue his onslaught. I mean, he could very easily he's feeling it flow. He's
shot
flow.
He definitely has, if none, at the very least one, because I know he shot one early on in this match, and we just watched him shoot 4. So at the capacity,
he shot one earlier before he killed Ali up here.
Right,
didn't connect. So he's out.
6. He's out.
The problem with Falcon doing this is then Black Arrow in the next round just goes, hold my beer. That was the problem.
And he does it in the 15, which you're getting more speed, you're carrying more weapons. But he does it with the tanks on too, which is just the icing on the cake there in that whole situation.
So 5 miles here, head-on incursion between Gory and Ghost. How do you get out of this situation, guys? What would you do? They're both low, 10,000 feet, right around Mach 1. Gory's a little bit faster, Mach 1.5. F-16 against 18. What do you do?
Well, I need to see the side view. Can I see the side view?
Who's higher?
They're same
18?
altitude. Same altitude.
Altitude.
What do you do? Billy, we'll start with you.
I mean, you're both within no escape, I believe. The vector of the 18 is already off at this point, which isn't good for business. I'm gonna go with the 16 because he's got the momentum advantage. I believe. Yeah, he's got the speed advantage. I'm sorry, I was misreading the numbers on the placards there. Yeah, he's got that speed advantage. I'm going with the 16, just based upon the distance and the physics of the situation here.
If you're launched on as a 16, how do you get out of it?
Altitude is what?
10,000 feet.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to most likely split S and drag towards the north here. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna say
So
split
like
S and yeah, pretty much. Because you obviously you split S and turn to the south, you're just running into more problems down there for the most part.
Right. Low, what about you?
Well, you see, Falcon's got the slammer on Black Arrow there at, what's that, about 2 or 3 miles, right? And he can't turn left and commit on Gory because he's got a slammer from Toxin
Well,
on him
we're talking about
as well.
If you're Ghost and Gory, who you picking to win, and with who you pick to win, how do you get out of the fight?
Oh, well, Gory's got this because he's got a jet right behind him to support. So no matter what he does, he's got this in the bag because it's basically a 1v2.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think this is Gory's engagement to lose here, right? He has, at least at where you have this currently paused, he has seemingly the numbers advantage and I believe the spatial advantage as far as where he can go and what he can do there. Ghost has got to respect Black Arrow coming at him. He doesn't really know how defensive Black Arrow is in this situation. So he's kind of forced into it as well, but he's at a disadvantage, I think, just based upon the vector we see his aircraft heading in this moment.
Mm-hmm. But it's a big brain play by Toxin to put that slammer on Falcon because he basically denies Falcon the ability to enter this fight and bail Ghost out.
Right.
So he keeps the left turn going after he looses off that 120C, and he's fully committed to helping Gory at that point. So yeah, awesome decision to really sort of deter Falcon from coming into the fight here.
Right. So what I would do in this situation, Toxin, I think you're absolutely right, does a great job. Ghost and Gory, in my opinion, are kind of done screwed. Gory, I think, has the advantage in being able to out-energy a missile. Ghost is dead. Being at 5 miles, the only out he has, in my opinion, is either notch perfectly at this altitude, which isn't probably going to happen, or vertical notch, which probably isn't going to happen. So he can't out-energy the missile in an 18 at this range. If he defends immediately, I think he's just going to die. Gory, I think, can if he does an oblique and dives and serpentines while in full gate with a cleaner jet, with not a lot of fuel, and if he continues to accelerate while serpentining and while diving and turning away, lengthening the flight path of the missile. But what I think is going to happen is both of these guys are going to wait too long to defend, and they're both going to die. Boop, boop, boom!
Yep. Yeah, at 6 miles, that's really, I think, difficult because you're neither guy was in a position to where escape was a big option there. That was if you wait until under 7 at low altitude.
If you're gonna be in those situations, you better be really low, and you better be, if you're not gonna notch, you better be really fast.
Or have some terrain, which there was absolutely none of in this situation.
Right. Unless a seal jumps out of the water and blocks the missile for you, you're not gonna be able to line of sight.
First you got squirrels, now you're bringing seals into the.
Hey, you know,
we're gonna have PETA up our ass here.
The Russians had dolphins during the Cold War.
Yeah, they did in Wales too, for that matter. I think we've seen that recently.
I've got to ask you though, how do you guys feel about Witcher sitting out for most of this fight and then basically just coming in with a full complement at the end?
I mean, was that part of the strategy? Was that due to a lack of strategy for using that airframe? I don't know there. I think that's a question you really have to ask those guys. Nevertheless, I think we saw in the fact that that we really didn't see a whole lot out of that Mirage other than that one small instance. It really may have just been a lack of a proper plan to
I think it was he's got the R for recruit. I think it was just he doesn't have the experience.
Working a new guy. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
maybe a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, and once again, I think it's even in Diamond League, like you bring in new people leave. Like you have to work these guys in. You can't just go get SATAL experience on some public server somewhere, right? Like you have to kind of put guys into the mix, and work them in slowly like that, which is probably the smart way to go. That way people don't get discouraged by going in their first SATAL match and getting shot in a few seconds, right? So it's kind of working that way, building confidence there. I can definitely understand that type of stuff.
This is really unfortunate by Wolf. He's probably getting a lock warning from the F-14 at this point. He tries to defend, goes into a bank turn, and while he's in the bank turn, he may think, missile's been defeated. Dude, no, now you're in oncoming traffic, and that missile's a semi, and you're about to get plowed. So it's really important, guys, when you defend, and you're defending missiles like this, roll out in the middle of your turn. If no enemies are around you, and you're trying to defend a Phoenix, roll out so you can get an idea of where that missile is. Because if you just stay in that bank turn the whole time, you lose total SA of where that thing is if you can't see it visually out of your cockpit. So I would have liked to see him roll out, get the RWR warning again so we could get some semblance of where that missile is and defend.
That's a good point, too. Because sometimes you want to give that RWR a second to catch up with itself, right? Like I've watched streamers and you see guys who they're reacting to that RWR as if it's like this instantaneously updated thing, and it's not. It's there's a little bit of lag and a little bit of delay in how that RWR is reporting back to you. Not to mention that it's really all depends on the angle your aircraft is and so on and so forth. So sometimes as you're evading and defending, you almost have to give a second to let the RWR catch up so you get that accurate information of where that missile is actually pursuing you from, so you can continue to try to keep it at the outer limits of its energy profiles.
So we're to the Bullock Arrow.
Is this the Hold My Beer round?
Yeah, this is the Hold My Beer round. It's about to be unleashed. So he launches on Airwolf, and Airwolf gets really lucky that Bullock Arrow doesn't commit onto him. But the rest of the 36 team gets really unlucky that Bullock Arrow doesn't commit onto Airwolf, because he carries on and massacres everybody.
What's phenomenal about this is the jets are just in his way, and he just, it's like he doesn't care, man.
There's one slammer. He actually double launches on him. So first casualty, second missile, Witcher doesn't commit into anything, Witcher gets taken out. Black Arrow, this is the missile that flies right by him. Nope, don't care about that missile. Gonna fly right, oh, there goes his second one. Don't care about that one either. So look at this.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know these missiles are here because he's in a bank turn. He has no idea. Don't care, and just kills both people. Dead, and just does not care. And he doesn't know because he's in a bank turn. And then commits last missile, aim 9, Airwolf, sends it, and Airwolf gets taken out. And Black Arrow, or Bullock Arrow, single-handedly, for the unfortunateness of 36, wrecks that site. And I want to know, so Airwolf here, who does he fly? It's Airwolf. So Airwolf gets away from Bullock Arrow and then becomes Bullock Arrow's last kill. Or second to last kill, excuse me. Or is it the last kill? Last kill. Yeah, there's that one. There's that one.
Can we look at that the 120s that just straight up seemingly struggle to keep catching there? Like what happens with those two 120s that get shot at?
These?
Go back there. There's two that come in from Falcon, that looks like. There's that first one, which I don't think has the right energy towards the end. The second one.
Oh, no, it does.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. If I was Falcon in that situation against Black Arrow, I'd be a bit dirty. Because he had all the SA in the world, right?
Look at that.
He's just seen a couple of his teammates get eliminated. He's put the slammer on a Black Arrow and nothing happens.
I mean, Billy may be right. This thing doesn't have quite enough energy to be able to turn. But if it would have had a proximity fuse,
right? Yeah.
This would have been very different.
It looked like one of those was in decent enough parameters, but I think this first one.
The second one's even better. So let's get the second one here. So here's the second one.
I'd be asking for a refund on that slammer.
What happens? What even happened here?
Yeah, right here. What is that even about? Like that one to me was the one where like, hold up, what just occurred here? Because it just like jumps over him.
I think it
like
got
he's
notched.
definitely chaffing.
I think it got notched.
It might have been. I don't know. That's almost Mach 3 there though. That's
Well, Mach doesn't care about isn't going to impact the Doppler effect.
Fast enough, right? It's fast enough.
Oh yeah.
He may have just thrown in the notch. You may very well be right. It may have just be an angles game where it's just difficult to kind of.
But this has happened to me too, where these missiles are getting so close.
No, that'd be a prox fuse kill.
Bullock Arrow should be, if not dead, he should be damaged and out of the fight.
Yeah, right. Agreed. Yeah, no, and that's the way the cookie crumbles in DCS. We've seen this time and time again. This is not anything I think anybody has, any type of exploitable control over. It's
not in that situation.
Cookie crumbles, I think sometimes.
There was, I didn't see any exploits there. Sometimes that's just how things happen.
I don't want to make it sound like that's what I was implying there, but you want to point out these situations when they do occur because it is worth noting all of those factors there.
In this last one, I think here it comes down to Airwolf's continually getting this missile warning and just is worried about running away from that missile and doesn't know where Bullock Arrow is. And gets snuck up on.
Can we talk about sensor employment here from Black Arrow's point of view? If you wind back to when he just wipes out 3 jets in a line and then makes a left turn, how do you think he was manipulating his sensors there? Was he in basically a 20-mile?
He was in vertical scan. Can almost guarantee it.
Okay.
The F-16's vertical scan is ridiculous. And if you come over anyone, it immediately picks them up.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he did. There was a vertical scan moment, came out of the turn, lock, launch. And he does a really good job with it. Comes out of this one, vertical scan, lock, launch. Doesn't wait, just launches as soon as he gets a lock. I like the 120 aim 9 launch. You try and defend the one, you're probably not going to be able to defend the other one. So does a really good job. Shifty Mover says only the F-15C could have done this because it's FC3. Yeah, maybe. We've gone down that path quite a few times, and I may agree with you, I may not. I'm gonna let you guys can go back to think about how we've talked about this in the past. But vertical scan in the F-15 is really good.
I'd like to see ED implement prox fuse on these slammers because he would have been dead there. That slammer from that second slammer from Falcon.
I don't know about dead because 30 feet. I mean, the warhead that these missiles carry isn't enormous. I mean, they're not.
No.
The Phoenix's is, but the Phoenix is enormous.
I think they say that the amount of actual explosive.
It's a couple pounds.
Well, it's about the size of your fist in, say, an AIM-9X,
yeah.
right?
Because I remember that
Strap.
being talked about in what was the book about the Vietnam pilot? What was his name?
You're talking about Duke Cunningham, maybe?
No. Flew in World War II, Korea.
Oh, you're talking about Robin Holtz.
Yeah, he talks about it when they're doing seed stuff in the
Vietnam?
in the F4 because the Shrike, I think it was, is a modified AIM-9, and he's like, even if it hits it, the warhead in the Shrike is so small, it won't necessarily do anything. So prox fuses, it'll probably do some damage, but I don't think we could guarantee that he'd be dead.
Right.
But no, I'm talking about the second slammer from Falcon, which comes in at 90 degrees and is still going how fast when it whizzes past him.
Yeah, but even
the very last slammer.
Even that one, maybe it should have. I don't know. I don't know. I was just stating that if that was a proximity fuse, it probably would have done damage, but I don't know that it would have killed him.
Yeah, and I think
I don't know.
I think we got to give ED to the benefit of the doubt here. Without we can add proximity fuses all we want, but until we get the enhanced damage model that I think they're working into the World War II stuff first, and then eventually the modern stuff. Once we see that come in, I think then the work that the devs would do on a proximity fuse would be worth it at that point. I don't know how much we can get proximity fuses all we want right now, but if the damage model isn't conducive enough, what are we really doing at the end of the day? So I'm approaching it from how a dev I think would think about that. So, but yeah, it's both very much so needed within the sim, I think.
Yeah. Somebody says, who said that? Somebody corrected me and said it's not the sidearm. It's not the Shrike. It's the sidearm. Thank you.
The sidearm is a 9. The Shrike is a 7, and then the harm was no deal.
But the sidearm was first, and then the Shrike, and then the harm. If I remember right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how that went. Shifty Mover says prox fuse and desync. Man, that will be interesting. Yeah, that. Hopefully one day we can get this stuff fixed. It would be nice, but I'm just glad to have a sim to be able to fly in. That's all we can want and hope for, and we have one. I just hope it gets better as time goes on. But guys, that brings us to the end. That wasn't a very long match, a couple hours, so not too bad. But Phoenix Task Force takes out and defeats 36th in a pretty good matchup. I mean, there was a lot of excitement. Several good rounds there, several good sorties from several good pilots. My big ones are Falcon for 36th and Bullock Arrow for Phoenix Task Force was solid. So we gotta give that to him.
No doubt, quality performances all around today. I think probably one of the more entertaining Diamond League matches we've had in quite some time, as far as both teams really getting in there and trading the paint. I'm already looking forward to the next one. Who do we got Tuesday?
I'm looking. It'll take me a second. I gotta go back. For anybody that wants to check out, go to dcswe.com. We've made progress on the website. The SATAL Diamond League and Gold League pages are up. They're not finished. I haven't moved everything over, but that's going to be a lot of how all of this stuff looks. So if you guys want to have an idea about what the new website's going to look like, it looks very different than the current one. The current one I thought was awesome when I first did it, but it doesn't look so awesome now. So we're making progress. So this was Phoenix Task Force taking on 36. Next match is Phoenix Task Force again. So will they be able to carry on their winning streak against Eclipse Task Force? So that's going to be an all Middle East affair. That's going to be Tuesday. And then Thursday is going to be 36th against Golden Crown. Will 36 be able to redeem themselves? That is the question there, too. So we're staying with Diamond League for a little bit. Diamond League next week. I don't know what next Saturday is going to hold, but Diamond League for the next couple matches. But you guys have anything closing before we get out of here?
Not a whole lot out of me. I got still Outer Marker Apparel just launched. I'll throw a link up there for that, actually, for those guys who want to check that stuff out. I got the big remake of Wild Weasel Apparel has started. Hopefully by next weekend might have some new stuff to show you guys, some new shirt designs and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think November hopefully going to be a big month for Wild Weasel. We were talking about maybe doing some stuff with once we can kind of block off the match results on the website, maybe do some stuff where you guys these points you guys are betting, you can take those points and use to buy shirts and different stuff from Wild Weasel. So we want to try to work something out there. I think could be pretty cool as far as giving back to you guys and letting you guys earn those points and actually be able to do something of worthwhile and get something pretty cool out of it at the end of the day. So that's about all I got. Loblo, anything from you?
Yeah, well, this weekend is the first Part X comp, so that's what's happening on the BFM ACM side of things. So that'll be actually fought out tonight. I've posted the list there in chat. We've got Dylan and Clayman, then Sweeper and Loki, Slick and Guido, followed by Athena, Jumper, and Athena Sam, and then Tor Savior and myself taking on Play School. That's tonight. That's being fought, and I'll be streaming that tomorrow on my Twitch with Guido joining me to co-commentate. So yeah, super excited about that one.
Legit Sock says Billy looks how an American should look to me.
I don't know if I've ever got a compliment that nice before. It almost brings a tear to my eye. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Oh man. So anyway, guys, Samurai asked, "What's my costume gonna be?" I'm ugly and scary enough as it is. I don't need to put anything else on my face or body to scare the ever-living daylights out of kids. I might go outside and throw candy at people. Maybe mix a rock in every once in a while to keep people on their toes. People get really excited that I'm throwing candy and then just chuck a rock and catch somebody by surprise. So, you know, if you live next to me, which I don't think anybody does, you may get surprised and get hit with a rock in the face. But that brings us to the end, ladies and gentlemen. This is another SATAL stream. Phoenix Task Force took on 36th, with Phoenix Task Force coming out on top 2-1 in a best-of-3. Next matchup, again, for anybody that wasn't paying attention, is going to be a recap of Phoenix Task Force again as the home team against Eclipse Task Force, so an all-Middle East affair. Until next time, guys, Tuesday, stay safe in those virtual skies, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
See ya.
Yeah.